So how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing? Bad doggy? Okay, buddy. How's everybody doing today? How are we doing? Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing? I think it's Wednesday, right? Yeah, today's Wednesday. How's everybody doing? What's going on, Scarlet? How are everybody doing today? How are we doing? Alright, let me go pull up the chat here. Alright. Whoops, I didn't mean to open up Microsoft. Anyways, let's see what we got going on here. Let me go pull up our chat. Let's see how everybody doing. What's going on, Christian? What's going on, Scarlet? What's going on, Bloxy? What's going on, Shelf? What's going on, Stuff Squad? What's going on, Marvel Gun Plays? How are we doing? Alright, let's 1-for-1 right now in Time Bomb. Then we watch his story. Didn't we 1v1 yesterday, though? Well, not yesterday, but the last stream. Didn't we 1v1 last stream, though? Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's actually Wednesday, bro. It's Wednesday. Anyways, how's everybody doing today? But before we get on into the his story, we have something important to look at real quick. Let me go on over to Twitter here. Let me go on over to Twitter and let's go to the RTC. We're gonna go see what we got because like we have something important to cover today. So basically, we have Roblox Innovation Awards 2026. We have the threads of the nominees. We got new game and innovation in tech, best plugin, creative direction. But unfortunately though, we don't have an individual hub for it this time. We just have it in the block now. So you have to join the block to get the Innovation Awards now. So if you guys don't know what the Innovation Awards are, it's basically like a basically at the blocks. It's like the Oscars but for Roblox. So let me go ahead and turn out the music real quick so we could go vote real quick before we get on into this. So we're gonna do a quick 1v1, and we'll see. After we vote, we'll think about something. All right? Because then we have to get into his story. All right? All right. Let's get on into this. Hopefully the mic's not too loud. No more shorts. Yeah, I decided to get rid of the short stream because nobody watches those anymore. Like they're always dead now. Like they've always been dead. YouTube hasn't really been pushing my streams to new viewers recently. I'm not sure what's up with that, but they haven't been pushing it to any new people yet. Yeah, we also did get a new chat overlay though. What do you guys think of that? We got a new one here. We got like there's smoother animations, smoother customization, all that. So here is the new voting hub now. Like honestly, it doesn't really look as good as the individual hub though, because we got the new best plugin. So let's see, which one should we vote here? I think the best obvious option here will be ROBLOX. I think ROBLOX is gonna be like pretty obvious, even though I don't really use it that much. I mainly use ROBLOX right now, but it's the only good one I know that's on this list. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna vote for that one. Wait, is there an actual place where you can vote, or is it just we just look at the nominees? And where's the voting portal at? Let's go see if we can find the voting portal here. Let's see what we got over here. Portal of the nominated games. Alright, so let's actually just join the games. Let's go look at the see if they're all displayed around here. Otherwise, we're just gonna go back to that portal. Now, best video star. Ooh, new lineup here. We got Alaska Violet. But I have no idea who she is. I've seen her a couple times. I don't know who she is enough. But like, we got Bundan. We also got Laughability. I think the best obvious answer is Laughability. I gotta go for Laughability, bro. He's one of the most underrated creators of all time. Now next we got Best Studio, Nosny Games, Twin Atlas, Grandma's Favorite Games, or Voldex. If you guys don't know who the Voldex is though, they're the new owners of Brookhaven. So yeah, we got that. I think I'm gonna go with I mean they've been playing Rivals a lot more recently, so I might play I'm gonna do Nosny Games. I'll do them. Now let's see. Whoa! Okay, I was not expecting that. Alright, anyways, let's go. Excuse me! Alright, there we go. Much better. Alright. They need to fix this. They need to fix the whole, like, spawning back up. They spawn us back on the edge. Anyway, alright. Best UGC creator. We got Who's Trade, DVD Co, Valkenheim, or DD Game Dev. I don't know who any of these people are, but, like, the only one I know more is Who's Trade. So, I think I have all these. I have to go with Who's Trade on this one. You know, I don't barely know who any of these people are. Alright, let's see what we got over here. I think we just have to go to the portal. Wait, what's this? What are people doing over here? What the heck? There's little platforms and stuff here. Nice. What? Okay, Alright, let's see what's going here. Where does this go? Where does all this go? Okay. I'm bad at obbies, bro. Alright, let's see. What do we got? Bro! Alright. Let's lock in. Alright. Lock in. Alright, what does this even lead to anyway? Well, I think this goes to one of those... Bro, stop falling off! Alright. Alright, there we go. Okay. It's over here. Wait, I think let's leave over here though. I think this is one of the little cubes you have to find, right? It's one of the little cubes. Oh, we got one of the little Roblox cubes. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead. This game's like the voting hub for the innovation awards. Like we have to vote for our favorite games and stuff like that. I need to get back to the surface. Hold on. Let me respawn my character. Let me see if I can respawn back to the normal place. Alright, there we go. Nice. Alright. Let's go vote for our favorite games this year. Alright. What do we have over here? We have best new game. We got Animal Hospital. I'm not sure why didn't they include the names of these things? Why can't they put the names of them? Like, how are you supposed to know from the thumbnails? So I guess we got, alright, so you get free items from last year. I mean, you did get free items. But, like, you have to, like, vote for them, I guess. We got the keyboard game and the Shawarma Anomalies. I think the obvious answer here is probably got to be Animal Hospital. Actually, wait. It's either Animal Hospital or keyboard game. I might vote for keyboard game. Let's go to Devin and play Roblox. How you doing, bro? How you doing? How you doing, bro? Alright, innovation in tech. I'm not sure what in the world some of these are. Like, why can't they put the names of the games on here, dude? Like, why did they just put the thumbnails? Jeez, bro. I might just pick, I don't know, this one, I guess? I don't know. I haven't played that one yet. Alright, best plugin. I'll pick that one. Alright. Oh, so I guess I might just click that. Alright, nominated that. Okay. Now, I didn't vote. Okay, let me vote for that one as well. Alright. Innovative creative direction. I pick Piggy Inner City. Yeah, I'm picking that. Innovation branded. Why is Steel Brain Rot on here twice? Why is it on here twice? What is this? Is it Bruno Mars concert or X Goat? I'm gonna pick the concert one actually. That's casual experience. I think keyboard games gotta win that one. Alright. Best survival experience. Ooh, we got some good ones in here. I think it's gotta be 99 Nights in the Forest. Not Steel Brain Rot? Yeah, I know, man. I don't know why that's in here, but, I mean, it is, so, you know, like, might as well stick with it, you know? Alright. Let's see, what do we have for best puzzle experience? What is this one? Finish the word. Ooh, I don't think I played this one, but I think it should win now. Actually, wait. I don't think I played any of these. Like, this game lineup is kind of weird. Alright, anyways, let's see. Alright, best sports experience. I'm gonna move on from those. I'm gonna just pick this random one, 'cause I honestly don't really care about sports, to be honest with you. Alright, best strategy game. What is this? Mini War, Tower Defense X. Alright, Rise of Nations or Tower Defense Simulator. I think it's gotta be Mini War, to be honest with you. Alright, best action game. Rivals. It's gotta be Rivals, bro. It's gotta be Rivals here. Gotta be Rivals. Best shooter experience? Okay, what is this? Hypershot. Wait. Alright. Okay. Okay, it's gotta be these two here. Okay. Alright, RPG experience. I think it's gotta be Piggy Inner City. We're watching his, so we're just voting here real quick. We're just voting here. Alright, wait, there's classics? I didn't realize Roblox cared about classic games. I thought there was a, classic, That's what they're always like every time there's a classic game. Like, if people here say the word classic, so. Yeah, I'm surprised they actually got classic games in here, but I think the obvious answer gotta be Jailbreak, bro. It's either that or Natural Disaster Survival, but it's like a close second. But it's gotta be Jailbreak, bro. Alright, best UGC creator. I think I vote for Who's Trade. And the best video star has gotta be Laughability, bro. He's so underrated, bro. Oh my god, dude. He's like one of the most underrated creators of all time. People's Choice. I might pick Animal Hospital for this one. Best use of audio. It's gotta be Piggy Inner City. But I think Piggy Inner City has some audio, but there wasn't much that I could think of. But I might just pick Doors for this one, actually. Yeah, that'll do. Alright. Best studio, Nazni Games. We went over that. Yeah, there we go. W. We voted. There we go. Let's see what the new free items are for this year, too, before we get into some his story. Alright, so, let's see what we got over here. Okay. Oh, where are the free items at, bro? Where are the items at? Alright, here they are right here. Alright, what do we got? You hate classic? No, I'm imitating what Roblox thinks of classic games. I love classics. When Roblox sees classic or the word classic, I was like, But I don't hate classic, bro. This is that Roblox hates classic, because have you seen the most recent Roblox updates? They're ruining classic things. So, like, I love classic stuff. Like, my whole avatar is wearing classic stuff, like classic clothing and all that stuff, you know? And I'm not wearing Arthur avatar, so. I will tell you one person one other person that hates the classic stuff, though. Let me just search him up here real quick. Let me go find the guy that I always see on Twitter. Alright, it's this guy right here. This is one of the other guys that hates, though, the classic stuff. You might have seen him in the chat every now and then, but, you know. It's this guy. This is one of the other guys. The Roblox investor. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's see what these items look like. So we got this, alright, is this like a hammer? What is this? What do we got for the prizes? We got these two already. I got these two off camera. Then we got this one. Take a photo using the screenshot button. Take a photo using the screenshot button, huh? Alright, guys, let's go get a picture, bro. Let's go get a picture here. Oh, this is where you vote. Wait a minute. Wait. Best new game. Let's do this. This is where we vote. Okay. Oh, I forgot this is where we vote. Frick. Now I know what happened. Yeah, this is where we vote. So let's do Animal Hut. Let's do Piggy Inner City. I'm gonna just put the Bruno Mars concert here. And then we got, this is where we're supposed to vote. We got best party casual experience. Let's do Grover Garden 2, I think. Actually, no, casual experience. I think my keyboard escape actually. Then a survival experience. It's gotta be 99 Nights, bro. Finish the word. I think I picked this one. There we go. I didn't realize this is where the voting hub was. So I didn't realize this is where I actually voted though. But anyways, let's go ahead and do I think it's gonna kind of make me mad during one of the events. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let's do I guess we'll do Blue Lock Rivals, I guess. And best strategy game. I think I picked Mini War. And then it's gotta be Rivals, bro. It's gotta be Rivals. And let's do Rivals again for that one. Yep. Piggy Intercity is not much of a, I mean, it is kind of a good RPG game, but yeah, it's maybe the best one I like. So classic games. It's gotta be Jailbreak, bro. It's gotta be Jailbreak. And then I picked Who's Trade. And then Laughability. Again, one of the most underrated creators. Alright, we got I think I might pick Animal Hospital for this one. And then best use of audio, I'm gonna pick Doors. Doors had good audio. And then Nazni Games. W. Vote. We got the vote award. Alright. Alright, so we got the voting done. Let's see what prizes we got. So we got a vote. We got the hammer. Finally on a camera. Let's go get a picture of in front of the Innovation Awards here. Let's get a picture of that. Get a picture here. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Okay, there we go. Save that. Let's just save that. There we go. Perfect. Capture saved. Alright, what can we get for our next prize? What do we gotta do this? Collect all 7 keys. Yeah, we're gonna do that later. I'm gonna do that off camera though, because yeah, we have his story to get to, so. Let's see what these avatar items actually look like on our avatar here. Let's see what these actually look like before we get on into the his story. Alright, let's go to avatar here. Here we go. Alright, let's see what we got now. Alright, we got aura. We got the aura of reanimation. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay. Alright, okay. Alright. I really love classic stuff. How do you guys? I mean, you just have to get them from like you got like first you get the hammer one from voting, like for voting for games, and then you get this one from doing the capture. I should might make a new avatar of this stuff. Hold on, let me go put this stuff on one of my Innovation Award avatars. Where's my Innovation Awards avatar at? Let me go put this stuff on this avatar. So I know this stuff looks really good. So let me go ahead and take off the hats that it currently has, and let's go see what we got. Okay, take that one off. I think it's face, I think, is what we have on. Nothing new face related. Let's do neck. In 6 hours, you're gonna go by content warning. You're gonna go do what? You're gonna go by content warning. Ooh, W. I think I heard about that thing before. I think I remember hearing about that. All right. Let's take that stuff off and let's go put the new stuff on and let's see what we got here. All right, let's put this stuff on. Let's see how our avatar looks, dude. Let's go see how our avatar looks. All right, there's not all the items yet though, but like this kind of looks fire. What are we thinking here? What are we thinking here? Let me show you how to get it here. So let me go on back into the hub here. Let me just show you how you get the stuff. Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to get the Innovation Awards items. So let me go ahead and get on into the hub here in the block. You have to go to the block to get them. But yeah, let's go ahead and go on into the hub. So I'm currently already wearing the items. Well, some of them. I forgot to take the bag accessory off, but anyways, let's go on over to the prizes and it'll actually show you what you do, but like let me just tell you here. So you get this hammer here by voting for your favorite games. Or voting for games here. So when you go over here to the center here, you go here and you vote. I've already voted, but you have to vote for every single one of these. And once you vote, you'll be able to get the hammer. But to get the welcome cap, you just have to join the hub. That's all you got to do. But in order to get which item do you need to join games with? Let me go check here. I know Shotlife made a video on this, but let me just show you the prize here. So in order to get this travel thing here, you have to check out games via the portals. You have to go to the portal here, the portal of nominees. So what you got to do here is when you go over here, but you got no hammer. But where did you vote at? Did you vote in the center? Like, did you vote everything, or did you vote here, like how I almost did? Like, if you go here to the portal, you just go to a random game and just click play, and then whenever you go into the game. Actually, I think it's better to do this on an alt account. Let me go do this on an alt account real quick. I think it's better to do this on an alt account so I can show how the prizes in order. So I can show how to get each prize. Since I already have the prize, I think it's probably better to do it on an alt account. Let me just do this here. I'll make a random alt account. Never going to use it again. Alright, let's go make a random account. Okay, that's not a good username. There we go. Perfect. That's good. There we go. I'm gonna make a random alt account. Since I already have the prizes on my main account, I think it's better if I just do it on an alt account. You know what I mean? Alright, let's go on into this account. Okay, let's see. Let's go on over to the block. Alright, here's the block right here. Let me just show you how to get each item. So, like, since I have the items on my main account, I'm gonna go ahead and just show you what it looks like on an alt account. So, whenever I go on into the game on the alt account, so getting the cap, like the first item is pretty easy to get. So alright. So when we go over here inside the game, I already got the cap on here for just joining the game. Like whenever we go to my avatar, like I got the cap just for joining the hub, which I bet most of you probably have this now. So whenever I equip this cap, I'll actually have it now. So whenever you go over here though, to get the second item, you have to go over here to the portal. Over here, and then you have to just join a random game. So I'm just play this random keyboard escape game. Let's go and join this real quick. Alright. So and after you join the game, you can just immediately leave, and then you'll be able to get the badge, I think. So then you can just like go here, and then you can just return back to the block. And then you should get the item. So yeah, you should get a badge right here. It shows a badge. Then you should be able to get the item. Then I'm gonna go back to my avatar and refresh. And then I'll be able to get the Staff of Wizardry. Wait, that's the Staff of Wizardry. All right. Now, when we go back on over here, though, this is where you vote to get the third item. So let's go do that. Let's go over here to vote for. I'm just gonna vote some random games here because I've already voted, so we're just gonna go ahead and go do that. Wait, did I vote on the other thing? Did I forget? All right, there we go. All right, I'm just gonna vote some random games here because I already technically voted on my main account, so you just have to vote for the games you want. I'm just voting for random stuff, but you just vote for whatever you want. But like I've already voted technically, so I'm just voting random games on this account. So I vote this random dude, and then pick laughability again. There we go. And yeah, and then once you vote, then you get the third item. Then once you get all your voting done, whenever you refresh the avatar, you got a hammer. You want to know how to get the other 3 items? Well, 2 of them you have to do like an obby for, but we don't have time for that right now. So so you get the hammer from voting. So let me just show you here. Yeah, we got the hammer. Okay. Now the next one is really simple. There's a little capture button right here behind this leaderboard. What happened to my Roblox? Why my Roblox frozen? My Roblox is frozen. Just drag it back up or something. I don't know. Why my Roblox frozen? Okay, there we go. We're good. So whenever you click this capture button, you better save the capture and you better get your 4th item. The other 2 are for like the obby. I might as well try and do the obby. I might do the obby on my main account though because I already did. Like, I haven't done the obby on my main account yet. But yeah, this is how you get the 4 items here. You have to vote, join a random game, then leave, and then you just join the block to get the first item. Then you have to vote. See, that's how you get these 4 items at least. See, that's how you do that. So that's how this account is doing. All right, perfect. Now, let me go ahead and go back onto my main account so we could go do the obby or something. Let's see if we can do the obby first, and then we'll get into his story. Alright, let's see if we can do the obby. Alright, let's go do this obby. I might try to do like a short, I might do like individual shorts on how to get each item. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I might try and do that, actually. That's what I might try and do. Alright, let's go back on into the obby area. So the obby, I think the obby is over this way, I think. Because this is where people are doing the little imaginary steps. So we're going over here. I'm just going these little pads that spawn in. I think this is the obby right here. I think it's near the near this innovation awards text over here. Alright, now we're going up here. Alright. Alright, we're going up here. There we go. Whoa. I fell off. Alright. Because I mentioned it. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and go up here. Up here. Up here. Oh, easy. Up here. And you also have to collect these little Roblox cubes. So yeah, that's what you also have to get. There's like little Roblox cubes you have to get. No! Alright. Let's go back up here. Alright. Yeah, alright. Let's go on back on up here. There we go. And then we should be able to, I don't know if there's 2 ends to this obby here, I think. There's 2 endings to this obby, I think. Let's see. Let's go on up here. Alright, we got one of the other cubes. We got like a credits thing here. We got Obby Master. So the Obby Master is up here. You have to go to the very top of this obby here to be able to get to the next item. Which I think the next item should be over here. Let me go ahead and, alright, that's the other account. Whoops. Let me go ahead. Let's go back to my avatar here. Let's go see what the next item is. But first, let's take out the baggage accessory I currently have on. Alright, where's my, okay, this is my box. Alright, let me go get the new item. So we got the musical aura set. Aura mindset. Musical mindset aura. See, there it is right there. Perfect. Yo, let's go, like, didn't see you. I'm gonna go into my let me go back down. Let me just show you where the obby is. So, come over here towards the, come over here. And there's a big blue guy over here. Can we do it again? Alright, come on over here. Come to the UGC creator side. Come over here. I'm over here. Alright, this is you. Alright, come this way. Let's go on up here. And then you're going up here. You go on this little, you have to jump on these little paths that appear. And you're going up here. Alright, up here. Up here. Alright. And then the way you're gonna want to go, like first, if you haven't gotten the cube down here, you should go do that. But like if you're going over here, you better get to the next part of this obby, which is on this thing right here. And then you go up there, up here, and then it should show up. But whenever it shows the credits part is whenever that's the end of it. That's the end of the obby there. Like this little big pad here. This is where you get the obby master. See, that's where you get that. I'm making shorts on this like early on, so don't later on, so don't worry. So yeah, I'll be doing that. So yeah, if you guys still they'll follow through, then you guys should be able to see the shorts. I might make some shorts on my use my random alt account to do that. But yeah, see that's how you get the obby master. This account also looks decked out here. Anyways, let's go ahead and go down here. All right. What's the last one we need to get? Let me go look here. The last one is need to do the you have to find all 7 cubes, which I honestly don't know where they're all at, to be honest with you. But we could try and find, I found like 3 of them so far, so let me go see what we have down here. Alright. Alright, so we're making some tutorials and stuff on this later. There's one of the cubes here, so you have to go on here. Then we get one of the other cubes. So here's one of the cubes. Let's follow this way here. Let's see where this leads. Oh, there's another one right there. There's another one right there. Oh! I fell down. Alright. Bro, oh my god. I'm so bad at obbies, bro. Alright. Alright, easy. Okay. Alright. I think it's, yeah, this way where the cube is. So let's go down this way. Alright. There we go. I got 5 out of 7 so far. Alright. Okay. Got Santa over there. I don't know what Santa's doing here, but alright. Here we go. Alright. Once we find these cubes, we're gonna go move on to the his story, alright? We're gonna move on to his story. That's what we're gonna do here, alright? Alright. Now let's just see if we can find the rest of the cubes. Okay. Where are we gonna find the rest of the cubes? I honestly don't know where the rest of the cubes are. Let's see. Let's see if we can find the rest of the cubes. Is there one over here somewhere? Is there one over here? I'm not sure where the other one is, to be honest with you. Okay, let's look down. It's not down there, obviously. I'm not sure why we're there. Let's see what these people doing. Oh! Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to go there. Let's go on up here. Get up here. Yo, do you know where the last square is? How? I don't know. Alright, anyways, let's go see. Okay, we can't even get up there. How do we get up here? Yeah, that's not working. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead. Let's go. Whoa! Easy. Okay. We need to find the rest. We need to find the last cube. We need to find 2 more cubes. Yeah, most we using this last year to help me with tutorials and stuff. Alright. Okay. Okay. Where are they? Honestly, I don't even know where the rest of the cubes are at. Okay. I'll be honest here. I need to figure out where these are so I can make the tutorials on this stuff later after his story. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. Okay. Where are these freaking cubes? Okay. I'm not sure if we're supposed to find the rest of these. I'm not sure where they're at. I know there's a couple down here in the obby, but I've already collected those. So but there's one right here. There's one right here. W, found it right here. 6 out of... Okay, nothing. Alright, you got everything? W, bro. W. Do you know where the last cube is, though? Because I got, like... We need to find one more cube. Okay. You got all the items? Alright, we need to find one more cube, and then we're good. Maybe it's hidden down here? I don't know. Alright, let's see. Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay, I'm trying to find it. Where the heck is it? Alright, what the, okay, maybe it's on this side. Maybe it's on this side of the place. I don't know. Wait, there's a key right here. Wait. I just saw it. It was right there. We finally got it, bro. Finally got it. Now, I do need to go send... I'm definitely gonna have to, do this tutorial part last, though, because I'm trying to find all these later. It's gonna be kind of hard to do, but we're gonna try and find them all. They're the programmer's scrolls. We got all the items onto one avatar, bro. This avatar is decked out. Anyway, no problem, bro. No problem, bro. Now we got a nice looking avatar. Look at this avatar, dude. Look at this avatar. Oh my god. This avatar is freaking awesome. So yeah, we'll be making tutorials on this for anyone else that wasn't able to join the stream and still wants to find these things. So we'll be doing that later today. They'll be in short, so just keep an eye out for that. But now, let's move on to his story. W. Alright, let's leave the game now. Let's go on to his story. So, yeah, this guy has been... He's basically like a Zach D Films guy, if I had to be honest with you. I've seen a couple of these videos. And they kind of look like Zach D Films. They kind of look like my style. And yeah, I do like to make these like little avatars and stuff here, though. I mean, I did kind of do. I did kind of look like that, don't I? Yeah, now our whole avatar looks so freaking cool. I'm gonna try and save this avatar real quick. Let me go save it real quick. Let's say the avatar is Alright. A26. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Now let's move on to his story. Alright, here's Short W. You really love them? Hopefully we'll like them here too. Cause he's got like 388 million views. Good lord, dude. All right, he's making. I've been making $100,000 from it though. That's kind of a low amount of money, but at least for this type of content. But yeah, so all right. Today we are gonna be looking at his story. I've been seeing his channel pop up everywhere, and I've been seeing a lot of people react to him. So we're gonna react to him today in today's stream. So, and shout out to the chat. We are currently live, and let's get on into this. Here we go.
I was counting crumpled bills for my overpriced New York rent when I noticed a rat on my kitchen floor, staring directly at me. I took off my shoe to kill it, but I froze because it didn't run. It scurried to the stove and started squeaking like crazy, like it was trying to tell me something. I raised my shoe and it threw itself at the stove crack, desperate to reach something back there. I lowered my shoe because I've seen rats my whole life, but I'd never seen one act like this. What did it want? I crept to the stove to investigate.
Does it have two different colored eyes? Wait.
Never seen one act like this.
Wait. He has two different colored eyes.
What did it want? I crept to the stove to investigate, and my nostrils flared, gas hissing from the crack behind it, and the rat circled faster, squealing. Was it showing me the leak? The apartment was filling fast, and one spark, a light switch, anything, would blow the whole place. My hands shook as I grabbed the shutoff valve, but it was rusted solid and wouldn't move. The fumes burned down my throat until the room tilted, so I dialed 911. They yelled, "Get out now! A leak that size could blow any second." Every breath made me dizzier as I stumbled for the door, but the rat was still there, throwing itself at the stove, and I couldn't leave it to die when it just saved my life. So I scooped it up and ran, but my elbow caught the light switch. I heard the spark before I felt the heat on my back. I clutched the rat to my chest and dove, and the explosion hurled me into the hallway as flames tore through everything I owned. Moments later, I woke up on the hallway floor, the rat somehow still pressed to my chest, both of us breathing. Firefighters rushed past me, shut off the gas, and yanked the burnt stove away from the wall.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he had like that
Behind the stove sat a huge block of cheese, melted and black around the edges from the explosion. The rat squirmed out of my hands and darted to the cheese, devouring the whole block with his hands pressed on it, and it finally clicked. The rat never saved my life. It just wanted the cheese stuck behind that stove, while the apartment I couldn't afford turned to ash. But then a firefighter picked it up, stupid rat, and chucked it out the window as it squealed. I was counting crumpled bills for my overpriced New York rent when I noticed a rat on my kitchen floor, staring directly at me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's kind of weird. Rat.
I shot up to snooze my annoying alarm for the 10th time that morning when I looked at the clock and suddenly realized my math final was about to start in 10 minutes. I thought I was screwed until a His Stories video notification popped up. The caption read, "Subscribe and something good will happen." I laughed. Why not? And subscribed. I immediately ran outside with 7 minutes left. I knew if I took my regular route, I'd be cooked. I looked around at the roofs and knew parkour was my only chance. I climbed up the nearest ladder and made it to the top of the roof. Okay, His Stories, pull through for me. I stared at the rooftop gap and jumped, but it took all my strength to actually land.
What's the right in my shoe?
I'm already bleeding, but I crashed into a lunge and got ready to keep going.
Speaking of, I do actually have a rat, I have a mouse in my house though. I do have a mouse in the house, so hopefully it doesn't, but like, you know, hopefully it's not trying to get in the house. But this is actually a true story though. So we have a mouse in our got into our garage and it ate part of our car. So we had it was gonna make the car overheat if we used it for too long. So we had to we're still trying to get the mouse out of there today, but like nothing like this. But I mean, it's probably gonna get close if we don't get rid of that mouse.
Because if I missed the final, my mom would kill me anyway. I ran at the next gap.
Moms would kill you regardless of anything.
Moms are pretty evil like an idiot because I just discovered a cheat code. And when there was 60 seconds left until the final, I finally landed on the school building. I walked into class while the teacher was giving out the tests, and I should have just sat down and started writing. But my thumb was already building one more account because I had to know what subscribing to His Stories again would do. As soon as I hit the subscribe button, the intercom crackled. "Attention students, a pipe burst overnight. School is closed today." My classmates screamed, "How is this possible?" I showed them my phone. It's all thanks to His Stories. Good luck comes to whoever subscribes to him. Subscribe and find out for yourself. I was babysitting for the richest family in LA when the mom called, "Grab my daughter and run to the safe room, now." And before I could ask anything, the front door slammed open. Her mom was still on the phone. "The safe room is hidden in the living room. Pull the red book on the shelf. Do not come out until I call you again." I grabbed Emily and yanked the red book. The shelf swung open, and I pulled Emily inside with no idea of what would happen next. The window was a one-way glass, so I could see them, but they couldn't see us. I put an index finger over my lips.
How do you get the showdown items in
your
inventory?
Silently.
3 men it was fun to create a showdown, but like from the blocks,
eyes darting around the room. The mom texted,
alright.
"Keep silent, or they will kill you both." They went through every drawer, while a man peered into the watch collection worth thousands of dollars and didn't take a thing. Whatever they'd broken in for, it wasn't money. Then his hand slid along our bookshelf, searching for a hidden lever. I put my hand over Emily's mouth and held my breath until it moved on. Then the man stopped dead in the hallway, and he whispered, "Layla." He searched the room desperately. "Layla, baby, where are you?" I froze in confusion. Who were they looking for? Emily's head came off my chest, and she whispered, "Daddy?" My phone lit up again. "Do not open that door." I pressed my face to the glass, and the man searching for her was crying. Emily started screaming, "Daddy, we're in here!" and clawing at the door. She tugged on my sleeve. "Open it, please!" I pulled the latch, and Emily ran into his arms. The man dropped to his knees and held her. "Layla, my Layla, I've got you, I've got you." He turned to me and put his hand on my shoulder. "This family kidnapped Layla a year ago and carried her across the state. I've been looking for her ever since."
What the heck?
That safe room was never built to keep danger out. It was built to keep Layla in. I was babysitting for the richest family in LA.
What?
My mom called, "Grab my daughter and run to the safe room, now." And before I could ask anything, the front door slammed open. My engine died in the middle of an empty road while there was nobody around, so I simply looked down and cranked the ignition until my tractor came back to life. But then red and blue lights immediately lit up behind me. An officer stormed up to my window, red in the face, shouting, "Why were you going 130 miles per hour? The speed limit is 80. I laughed at first and pointed to my tractor's speedometer. "Officer, this thing tops out at 40. But he pulled out a speed camera that takes your photo and measures your speed. It showed me in my tractor 130 miles per hour underneath in red. My stomach dropped. "Your thing is broken. Look at what I'm driving." But he shook his head and slid the camera back into his belt. The camera doesn't lie. He yanked my door open and dragged me down onto the road. I stumbled as he spun me around and clicked the cuffs around my wrists. I screamed, "I wasn't speeding. I'm driving a 40-year-old tractor." But he was already pinning me against the hood of his cruiser. That's when I heard an engine rumble behind me.
That's kind of idiot
on a
sometimes,
superbike
you know what I
yanked
mean?
off his helmet. "What's going on here?" The officer replied, "None of your business." But the biker calmly asked, "Are you arresting him for going 130? The officer's face shifted. "How do you know that?" The biker pointed at the officer's dash cam in his windshield. "Because I know what actually happened. Check the footage." The officer huffed and ripped the dash cam off the mount with me still cuffed beside him. The three of us watched me in my tractor, hunched over cranking my ignition. That's when a superbike drove past me in the video. The same superbike this biker was on. It had driven so fast, the speed camera couldn't photograph it in time. It clocked the speed of the bike at 130, but took a photo of my tractor, so it looked like I was the one
cops
going
were idiots,
130.
bro.
The officer went pale as he realized I was innocent. The biker shrugged. "I turned around when I saw you pull him over. I can't let an innocent man get blamed for something I did." The officer fumbled the cuffs off my wrists, then spun toward the biker. "I admire your honesty, but you were speeding. Put your hands behind your back." But the biker just laughed. "Catch me if you can, buddy." He threw up 2 fingers and sped off before the officer could take a single step. My engine died in the middle of an empty road while there was nobody around. My boy poked at his bag and whispered, "Don't freak out." But I got my flamethrower past airport security. I choked on the ginger ale because the plane had just taken off, and I had no idea what to do with this information. "How?" He tipped his bag open just enough to show the nozzle. He made air quotes with his fingers. "The tank is empty," he chuckled, "and the label says not a flamethrower." So I declared it as exactly that. My eyes widened and my head tipped forward.
There's no way airport security is this stupid, bro. Like, they'll let this stuff slide, but whenever you have a bottle of water, they were just like, "Nope, get out of here. You're committing a felony." Like, my God, bro. Like, there's no way they're this stupid.
Huh, there's no way that worked. He zipped it shut. "Relax. I'm gonna try it out before we land." Before I could react, he was already flagging down the air hostess. "Excuse me, can I get some Oreos? For free." She just stared at him. "No, they're $4. He grinned. "Are you sure about that decision that you're making?" Her face didn't move.
He's trying to threaten.
He pulled his backpack onto his lap. "Let me show you something that might change your mind." The nozzle poked out of the bag, and I didn't know if the flamethrower tank was actually empty or not, so I smacked it out of his hands and screamed, "He has a weapon." An air marshal flattened him into the aisle, and the grin never left his face. The pilot immediately announced, "We're making an emergency landing. Everyone brace for landing." The marshal held my boy down while the plane
his story.
10 minutes after takeoff, the plane was rolling back to the gate with
be
feds
proven wrong
already
with
waiting
this.
on the
This is
tarmac.
good.
We walked out, and on the tarmac, a TSA supervisor turned it over and read the label twice. "The tank is empty. Label says not a flamethrower. Legally, it's not a weapon." He handed it back to my boy, and for a second, I breathed a sigh of relief, until he reached into his pocket and took out a marshmallow that had a toothpick sticking out of it. He held it in front of the flamethrower, and a 10-foot cone of fire swallowed the nearest luggage cart. Every Fed hit the deck while he stood there holding it. "My bad. There's like a little left in the tank." 3 agents dogpiled him, and as they cuffed him, he twisted toward me. "Told you I was gonna try it out, and I still want those Oreos." My boy poked at his bag and whispered, "Don't freak out," but I got my flamethrower past airport security. I choked on my ginger ale because the plane had just taken off and I had no idea what to do. I walked into the living room at 2 a.m. and my granddad was crying with a Call of Duty controller in his hands. He was alone in the dark with his headset on crooked, and his soldier was face down in the mud of a World War II map. The chat was blowing up with messages. "Grandpa's a bot. Go back to bingo." He turned to see me standing there in the doorway, and I whispered, "Granddad, what are you doing?" His voice cracked. "Ever since you started playing this game, you never want to spend time with me anymore. I figured if I got good at it, we'd have something to talk about." My heart broke, but before I could respond, a kid's voice squeaked live through the headset. "Yo, Grandpa, nursing homes got better aim than you." I dragged a chair next to him and straightened his crooked headset. "One more game. Do exactly what I say." His hands shook through the loading screen, so I put my hand on his shoulder, crouched behind the sandbags and pre-aimed the door. He dropped the first German through our doorway, and the shaking stopped. "I've done this before, son. The real war, before any of these kids were even born." He grabbed the mic like a field radio, and the polite old man vanished. "Germans in the church tower. Same stupid trick in every war." The kid saw my granddad was winning and tried to laugh it off. "Bro, that's aim assist." But granddad talked right over him. "In my day, we called that aiming." The last 3 Germans pushed at once and a shot clipped him, the screen edges flashing red. I opened my mouth to call the next move, but he lifted one hand and waved me quiet. My heart slammed against my ribs. He swung the corner, dropped one through the window, one on the stairs, and the last point blank as victory slammed across the screen. He shot up with both fists in the air and leaned into the mic. "Who's the bot now?" The chat sat frozen for 5 seconds before one message crawled up.
Grandpa's
"GG,
a
old
gamer."
man." They spent all night calling him a bot. They just got farmed by a man who did it with a real rifle. He dropped back into his seat and hit requeue before I could speak. "One more game, kid." I grabbed the second controller, and it was the most time we'd spent together in years. I was alone on shift when a man stormed in with a gun. My eyes widened, and I recognized him instantly because he was a regular customer. I shoved the register drawer shut, but he just stood there and burst into tears. I knew that whatever he came for, it wasn't money. "Sir, is everything okay?" I spoke slowly to de-escalate the situation. He jammed the barrel an inch from my nose. "You're going to tell me why nobody wants to be my friend." His finger trembled on the trigger.
Probably because you have a gun.
"I do everything for everybody. Why does nobody like me? Why don't I have any friends? Tell me." I gently laid my hand on top of the gun. "I know what it feels like to be lonely. I'm happy to talk about it, but please lower the gun." He nodded like he understood and handed it to me. It wasn't even loaded. I just needed somebody to give me an answer. I put the gun away and came around the counter, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. "Joe, can I be honest with you?" We locked eyes, and I put my hand on his shoulder. "It's not that people don't like you. They're just scared of you." He gasped.
Yeah, that is
I
true
pointed
though.
at the broken
That could
door
happen.
he cracked after finding out we raised the prices of eggs. I glanced at the shelf he knocked over earlier that day when we'd run out of Twizzlers. "You're an extremely violent person." He walked out without saying a word, and I was sure I'd never see him again. But the next day, he walked in with a red stress ball, and when he put his groceries on the counter, I insisted on paying for them. "That's what friends are for." He hugged the bag like it was gold. "See you tomorrow." I was alone on shift when a man stormed in with a gun. My best friend pointed at the
Oh, these are getting these are good, bro. These are actually really good.
Our principal had brought this to knock down an old shed. I laughed. "Nah, man." But Braden was already climbing the fence. I had no choice but to follow him, and my jaw dropped as I saw the keys right there. Braden climbed in. "Time to go Miley Cyrus on this bitch." He immediately grabbed the level, and the giant wrecking ball
Swear warning.
swung at me. I panicked and jumped back, but Braden swung again. I screamed, "I'm not letting you flatten my then dodged and climbed in, pushing Braden away as he fell out, still laughing. "Your turn, ball boy." I swung and immediately lost control. The wrecking ball began swinging way further than I meant, and Braden started shaking on the ground.
Oh my God.
As the ball was moving unpredictably, and he could actually be hit. I screamed, "Miley Cyrus help," and pushed random buttons, but then the wrecking ball slammed into the science wing. A giant hole instantly formed in the wall, and the alarm started blaring. I gripped my head panicking because I knew we'd be arrested for this, so I hopped out and screamed, "Run!" But then Braden grabbed my shoulder. "Dude, wait!" He grinned and pointed at the wall I'd smashed, and my stomach sank. A man we didn't recognize was lying unconscious under a pillar of rubble in the science lab, surrounded by tin cans. The latch on the ceiling was open, and Braden yelled, "I told you that weird noise was someone living in the ceiling." He ran towards the man, and I ran as well, but when we got to him, my eyes widened. I recognized this man as someone on America's Most Wanted list. I pulled out my phone, and his face matched. $250,000 reward, and me and Braden had found him by destroying the science wing. We instantly called the cops because he was still breathing, and when they arrived, they cuffed him and brought us us in too. Me and Braden got the $250,000 on the spot.
Yo,
Four of us
W!
went to the school to repair the wall, and we did 300 hours of community service.
What would you guys do if you guys got $250,000? Let me know in the chat.
But the principal still had to shake our hands in front of the whole school and thank us for destroying his wall. This is for solving a 15-year case. He put a medal around mine and Braden's neck. I kissed my medal. Thank you, Miley Cyrus. My best friend pointed at the crane-wrecking ball in our... My dog Bruno accidentally placed his paws on my mouse and logged me onto a sketchy website I'd never seen. I instantly shooed him away, worried about viruses, but then I got an email that made me stop. You win a full tour of the most advanced science lab in the country. The sender had a verified check, so I trusted it and arrived at the lab next morning. My heart pounded, still unsure if this was
that's probably a good thing to do with the money. That's probably a good thing.
The doors open. A scientist was frantically slamming buttons on a giant tank. Hey, I'm here for the tour. He instantly spun around. Oh, this is actually good. You're gonna help me, kid. He pointed at the empty tank. The AI clone I made of myself escaped. He malfunctioned, and he's evil. We need to find him. I backed away thinking he was crazy, but then a note manifested itself inside the tank. I see everything, Sambucha, including that kid with you. Come to the warehouse with a hard drive of your memories, or else. A picture of my dog
Is that
Bruno
the
locked in
YouTuber?
the warehouse was right there. My stomach turned as I realized this was real.
Hold
The
on.
warehouse was right there.
That's Sambucha right there? Wait, hold on. You're telling me that the YouTuber Sambucha got into a his story video?
My stomach turned as I realized this was real. An evil AI robot had kidnapped my dog. I went to call police, but Sambucha replaced the phone in my hands with a laser gun. Then he strapped
Ain't no way, bro.
us to a drone before I could protest. My hands trembled on the laser's trigger as I accidentally cut a table in two, but he laughed. Don't worry, kid. He won't hurt your dog. We took off before I could say I was scared of heights, and though I wanted to scream, I closed my eyes and told myself I was doing this for Bruno. But then the drone spluttered. Sambucha yelled, "Crap! AI me is interrupting the signal," and we started crashing. We slammed into the bushes. I got up holding my head in pain, but then Sambucha smiled. We're at the warehouse. We crept inside, and my legs
Don't say it.
instantly went numb. Bruno was locked in a cage and not moving. Me and Sambucha began sprinting towards him, but that's when AI Sambucha stepped out. My stomach dropped because they looked so alike. This was some sci-fi shit I only saw in movies. I immediately raised my laser gun to shoot him, but Sambucha placed his hand on my barrel. Wait, he turned to his clone in tears. You're me. Why are you doing this? The clone smirked. I'm not you, Sambucha. I'm Bamsucha, and I'm going to destroy everything you built. Bamsucha turned towards Bruno. Now give me the hard drive, Sambucha, or else. I saw him pulling something from his pocket. I raised my laser gun towards a rack of gorilla couches right above Bamsucha, and with shaking hands pulled the trigger. The red laser burned through the chain, and a gorilla couch started tumbling down.
Oh, is this
up just in time
that's
to
the
see
couch
a
he
600-pound
owns.
gorilla couch falling on him. The couch crashed.
He owns that
and
gorilla
I immediately
couch in
ran
real
and
life.
popped Bruno's cage open. I pressed my ear
What's going on,
against Bruno's
Jandra? How you
chest
doing,
and
bro? How you
He's
doing?
just asleep. I carried him to the gorilla couch, where Bamsucha's head was sticking out from the bottom. Sambucha kicked Bamsucha's head. Another failed AI test. My dog Bruno accidentally placed his paws on my mouse and I knocked an old man's flowers into a dirty puddle. I instantly bent down to pick them up, but he grabbed them and jabbed a finger at my chest. Every Saturday I make this walk, and I have never once been trampled by an imbecile like you. Tears started streaming down his face, but he did his best to wipe them away and keep sounding angry. Go F yourself. He limped away, and something told me I should follow him to see if he was okay. From across the street, I followed him as he marched towards the local graveyard, and I figured he was going to stop at his wife's grave. But he walked past every family plot to a row of small white markers and stopped at 6. He pulled a folded American flag from his coat and pushed its stake into the dirt, then pinned a bronze star to his chest with shaking hands. He wiped each flower dry on his sleeve and laid one on every stone. I gasped because I realized these were his brothers from the war. He snapped a salute over those 6 graves, alone, and I clenched my fists because I knew I had to see him again. So on the next Saturday, 4 of my friends and I were waiting at those markers when he came up the path with fresh flowers. His boots scraped to a stop on the gravel, and as he walked the road,
really rude, to be honest.
on every stone. The 5 of us raised salutes beside him. For 58 years, he'd made this walk alone,
he kind of is.
Saturday. He worked down our line like a drill sergeant, pushed my elbow 2 inches higher, and grunted, "Still an imbecile." He took the last spot in our line and saluted with us. I knocked an old man's flowers into a dirty puddle. My brother bet me a PS5 I couldn't win a game of hide and seek, so I instantly dove into a dumpster to prove it. Wet sludge ran into my socks and leg, but I shut the lid and watched through the gap laughing as Gary ran past. I only needed 10 minutes for the PS5, but then I felt the entire dumpster being lifted. My head slammed against the lid and I dropped into what I could see was the inside of a truck. I heard the engine start as we peeled out.
Ew!
I pulled it out and saw Gary's text. 10 minutes is over, you win. Where are you? But when I tried to text him back, my fingers were covered in so much garbage sludge the touchscreen wouldn't work. I felt the truck swerving, and because my dad was a garbage man, I realized we were going to a dumpster crushing site by the turns we were taking. The truck's engine suddenly cut, and I pushed the lid trying to get out. My whole body strained, but the lid was blocked by something on the outside, and that's when I felt my dumpster being lifted. The sound of machinery crushing started around me, and I cried, realizing I was going to get squished into a cube. That's when I saw a rusty knife at the bottom of the dumpster. I dug through the trash and pulled it out as the crushing got closer and began cutting a hole
the
in
knife.
side. I kicked through and scrambled out, falling face first on the gravel, just as the dumpster I was in started getting slammed. I was hyperventilating, and that's when I saw my brother Gary climbing out of Dad's garbage truck. Found you! I stood up and grabbed my head. Gary, what are you doing here? Gary crossed his arms and grinned. I saw you hiding in the dumpster, but I didn't want to win the boring way, so I stole Dad's truck and drove your dumpster here to make my win more epic. I only texted you won, so you'd actually think you'll die. I stared at him in disbelief. You could have killed me, Gary, but I didn't. Now run me the PS5, buddy. He got in Dad's truck and drove off, leaving me in the dumpster site. My brother bet me a PS5 I couldn't win a game of hide. The only thing standing between me and freedom was the 450-pound gorilla blocking the doorway. I used the special sign language my mother taught me to try and calm him down. Me, friend, me, help, free, you. My mother loved animals. That's why she took a job as an animal researcher at this lab when I was younger. But once she saw the horrible conditions the animals were kept in, she made me promise her on her deathbed that I would come back to the lab and free as many animals as I could. This gorilla was last on the list. I looked past the massive beast. On the other side of the doorway, I could see the getaway van in the parking lot. The engine was running and the back doors were open, but the creature just stood there, confused, aggressive, and unwilling to budge. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, I heard heavy footsteps running up behind me before someone yelled, "Freeze!" I looked over my shoulder. A security guard had his gun drawn and was approaching slowly, switching his line of sight between me and the giant silverback. What the hell are you doing? That thing could kill us both. I've already had to taser this gorilla 3 times this week. I looked back at the ape and saw the missing patches of hair from the electric shocks of the stun gun. The guard wasn't lying. "Wait, I recognize you!" the guard shouted and lowered his gun. "You used to come in here all the time as a kid. Your mom was the lead scientist. You freed this monstrosity, didn't you? You're under arrest." And he held his gun up with lethal intent. I knew I had to act fast, or things would turn violent, and I'd fail to achieve my mother's dying wish. I turned to the gorilla and made a series of gestures. You, almost, free, you, smash, him, then, run.
What's going on, Zay? What's going on, Zay? How you doing, bro? How are you doing?
Pile of dung at the guard's face before charging him at full force, sending the guard flying across the room. With our last obstacle removed, me and my new giant friend made it to the getaway van and started to peel out before the doors even closed, never to be seen again. The only thing standing between me and freedom. I was waiting at my airport gate when a duck in a tiny purple vest started digging through the bag under my chair, and a man 2 seats down shot up. "Get away from Pumpkin!" I threw my hands up. "I'm not even touching her. That's your own bag you shoved under my chair." My boarding pass was already crumpled in my fist because this was the last flight home after being gone for 2 weeks. He laughed before turning to everyone. "She's bonded to me and won't go near anybody else." The whole gate was nodding along, so I was about to lose that flight over a duck that wasn't even mine. He worked the whole gate. He's got food in his pocket. He keeps calling her over. But Pumpkin waddled right past me to a little kid and snatched the cracker out of his hand. "See? He's got her stealing off children now." A gate agent pushed through.
Robots ruined your avatar? What did they do?
Clamping her under his
They
arm
ruined your
as she
dynamic
thrashed.
head?
"This guy's luring my support animal to steal her. Check his pockets." I turned mine inside out with nothing to show, my hands shaking as every phone swung to me. But the agent told me to step away from the animal anyway. The agent reached for my arm, so I stepped back and called his bluff. "You're so sure she's yours? Carry her out then and see if she even lets you." The man grinned like he'd already won and hauled his bag up with Pumpkin pinned under his arm, marching for the gate. Pumpkin lost it. She twisted up into his face, so he dropped everything as she rode him down to the floor. "Pumpkin, baby, it's me! It's me!" She latched onto his hand, so he flipped onto his back, kicking. "Somebody help! Get this thing off me! Get it off!" Nobody in that crowd lifted a finger to help him. He bolted down the terminal with Pumpkin right behind him, and the agent turned to me. "Go catch your flight." I stepped over his bag. "Guess she's bonded to you after all." I was waiting at my airport gate when a duck in a tiny The inspector came through Marco's back door while I was dropping fries into the fryer, and every cook kept moving like the restaurant hadn't been a front for 15 years. He went straight to the
Notice
walk-in,
time
knocked
travels?
on the
Yeah, he
walls,
kinda
pulled
does,
the vent
yeah.
cover loose, and opened every flour bin looking for the banned product. Everyone said Marco moved through that kitchen. He found nothing.
Or maybe
Marco
I
ran
do,
the
I don't know.
cleanest operation
I think
in
both
the
of us
city.
time
No
travel.
dirty invoices, no hidden walls, no boxes out of place. Fries came Tuesdays, onion rings came Fridays. I stayed because Marco paid cash. My mother was behind on rent, and the envelope in my glove box kept her lights on. When the inspector came back with a federal badge clipped to his lanyard, Marco stopped smiling. The inspector's crew tore through the kitchen for 2 hours and found nothing. Then he pulled us into dry storage one at a time. When it was my turn, he slapped a photo on the table. Our van in the alley, back doors open, one plain cardboard box visible inside. You see every shipment, he said. You know what comes through that door. My chest tightened, but I kept my hands flat on my knees. Fries on Tuesday, onion rings on Friday. He leaned closer. Marco won't save you. For 1 second, I looked at the pen beside his report and imagined signing anything he wanted, just so my mother would not lose her apartment. Then I looked back at the photo and said, I flip burgers and go home. He waited until my throat burned before he let me out. Marco stood at the line, watching my face instead of the grill. I gave him the smallest shake of my head. He nodded once. That night, I was wiping down fryer baskets when the delivery van backed into the alley. I saw the inspector before the driver did. He stepped out from between two parked cars, badge swinging, and rushed straight for the back doors. One plain box sat inside the van. No label, no paperwork. His face changed, like he finally had Marco. He dragged the box into the alley and split it open with his keys. Frozen French fries spilled across the pavement. He tore through the bag, shaking fries into the gutter until there was nothing left but potato and ice. I watched him stand there, breathing hard, empty-handed again. The Tuesday shipment was always clean. The banned product came with the onion rings. Those came Friday. I closed the back door and went back to dropping fries into the fryer. The inspector came through Marco's back door while I was dropping fries into the fryer, and every cook kept moving. The hourglass icon popped up on my Snapchat, and I panicked because I was about to lose my 1,000-day Snapchat streak. I scrambled to take my usual half-face snap.
You wasted food? Yeah, he did, yep.
Our dodgy Airbnb didn't have Wi-Fi, so my streaks wouldn't send. Dad laughed. Are streaks that important? And I said yes, and immediately ran outside.
Streaks are
Banging on
important,
the
believe
first
it or
car I
not.
saw. Sir, I need to save my Snapchat streaks. Can you drive me somewhere with Wi-Fi? The man immediately smiled and told me to get in.
Did
My
you
heart
cell
pounded as I
service,
buckled
bro?
my seatbelt, refreshing my Snapchat. Thank you, sir. No problem, kid. He grinned and adjusted his rear view mirror as we took off. Mom and Dad kept calling me while we drove, but I declined every time, only answering once to say, I'm saving my streak, Mom, before hanging up. The hourglass icon kept flashing on my Snapchat, and that's when the man asked, do your parents know where you are? I replied, nah, without even looking at
111-day streak on Snapchat? Dang, bro.
There, that place will have Wi-Fi, but he drove past it without a word. Sir, you went by it. That's when our tires suddenly squealed. We turned off the main road, and I sat up panicking. Sir, where are we going? But he said nothing and pressed the child safety lock. And when he smiled at me in the rear view, my stomach dropped. I realized this wasn't safe. I tried calling Dad, afraid for my life, but I had no signal. Nobody knew where I was, so I started banging at his door to get out. That's when tires screeched. A car came from behind us and swung sideways across the road. The man slammed the brakes, going, what the hell? But Mom and Dad were already running. Dad dragged him out of the car and knelt on his back while I stumbled out and hugged Mom. How did you find me? Dad looked at me while still kneeling on the man's back. I'll say this nicely, son, but you're the biggest idiot we know, so we put a tracker in your phone and didn't tell you. I'm not an idiot. Then I looked at my phone and started crying harder. My Snapchat streak was gone. The hourglass icon popped up on my Snapchat, and I was at summer camp, sitting in my cabin, when our counselor ran in holding an empty gummy pack.
I don't think I'll have time to play childhood after this. I have to make Innovation Award shorts.
Felix yelled, we ate them. Do you have another pack? But the second he said it, our counselor started panicking. Oh no, 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 no. Who ate them? The whole cabin raised their hands. They were so good. The packaging was weird though. I've never seen those in the candy aisle. The counselor read the back of the pack, and her hands started shaking. She sat down and called someone, whispering into the phone. The whole cabin ate them. What do I do? We were all holding our stomachs now, getting worried. Hey, what type of gummies were those? But she didn't answer. She ran to grab the camp nurse, and when the nurse saw the empty pack,
I don't have time. I have to make Innovation Award shorts after this, girl. I don't have time.
Then it started hitting us. Felix's eyes went half shut and slurred. Guys, I think it's kicking in. Someone else freaked out. Are my eyes red? My mom's going to beat my Half the cabin thought we were poisoned. The other half thought we were spaced out goofy. The nurse slammed the door. Nobody leaves this cabin. Then ambulances pulled up. Paramedics.
I'm trying to play it in another stream or something.
One kid was crying so hard he was
but I can't do it right now.
Then our parents showed
I'll
up
make
angry.
sure that's
Felix's
this.
dad shoved in first, took one look at his loopy son, and lost it. What did you do to my kid? Did you
Guys,
poison
don't
him, drug
don't
him?
try to
He
start
grabbed the
anything,
camp director
please.
by the collar as
Don't
the
start
counselor
anything.
sobbed. Finally, the director snapped. He threw the dad's hands off him and screamed, "Relax, nobody is poisoned. Nobody is spaced out goofy. They're just gonna get sleepy, okay?" Everyone looked at him confused. A parent yelled, "Then what's in it? They're melatonin gummies. They make you sleep." Everyone turned and looked at our counselor, who was still
Oh
crying.
yeah, they make
She
it. Yeah,
explained,
melatonin
"My
does make you
boyfriend
sleep.
cheated
I
on
used to
me
have to
with my
take
mom,
those a
and I get
while,
nightmares
like a
every
few years
single
back. But
night.
I
It
never
helps."
take them
The whole
now.
cabin just stared at her. Then Felix mumbled, "So, your boyfriend's your stepdad now?" The counselor pulled out a gummy, ate it, and ran out the door crying. I was at summer camp, sitting in my cabin, when our counselor ran in holding. I hit the center of a whack-a-mole machine, and suddenly a blunt pain exploded in the center of my skull. I brushed it off and just hit the right side of the whack-a-mole next, but as I did, the same pain tore through the right side of my head. I hit the left side of the whack-a-mole, and the pain hit the left side of my head too. I dropped the hammer and slowly backed out of the arcade, wondering how my head hurt in the exact place I'd hit the game. I remembered my nose surgery from 3 days ago, but figured a nose surgery couldn't magically sync a whack-a-mole machine to my brain. But while walking home, I hit the button on a
What the heck?
crosswalk, and a sharp, loud pain instantly hit
Ooh,
my
I think
forehead so hard I doubled over. It felt like an alarm was blaring inside my head, and it only stopped when the button quit beeping. I
That's
got home
weird.
and instantly tried to Google what was wrong with me, but every time I tapped my phone screen, it felt like someone was tapping my head. My phone buzzed, and my entire skull literally vibrated. I was panicking and went straight to the hospital where I'd had the surgery, looking for answers. I told the nurse everything, flailing my arms and promising I wasn't crazy, but then her eyes exploded. She immediately left and came back with 2 doctors and a tablet. "Do you feel this?" They tapped the bottom left corner of the tablet, and I instantly felt a pain in the bottom left of my head. I told them I felt it, and their eyes widened as they instantly started writing things down. I frantically asked what's wrong with me, but nobody even looked at me. "Give us 1 moment." They stepped outside and started whispering. I knew I needed answers, so I pressed my ear against the door, and what I heard made me shiver. I heard her telling the doctor the chip he installed in my brain during my surgery was malfunctioning. The chip company we work with promised this wouldn't happen. It's locking onto every electrical device he looks at and copying the signals straight into his brain. My whole body went cold as I thought back to the arcade. When I played whack-a-mole, I hit the center of that board with the hammer. The chip locked onto the machine and sent the hit from the center of it to the center of my brain. I realized every random pain in my head was the chip in my brain syncing me to the technology around me. My hands shook as I tapped the tablet in front of me to test it one more time. I felt it in my skull immediately. I had a faulty chip implanted in my brain, and I never consented to it. I hit the center of a whack-a-mole machine, and suddenly a blunt pain exploded in the center of my skull. The school in our African village was shut down due to low funds, so my dad handed me the egg crate. "Now you can work with me in the family business. We can sell eggs together." Tears filled my eyes. "Dad, I'm only 14. I wanted to keep learning so I could have a chance to move to America. Please, can I go to the school in the city?" He laughed harshly. "This business is what keeps us alive. If you ever ask me that again, I'll make sure you regret it." I kept my lips shut, but I knew I needed to find a way to keep going to school, or we'd be living in dirt houses forever. So on my first day in the city,
living in dirt house is one of the worst things ever, bro.
And as soon as I was finished, I slipped into the back row of the school. My heart pounded as I sneaked in with all the other students because I knew my dad would beat my if he found out I was there. And every night at 2 a.m., I'd sneak kids into our barn to teach them everything I'd picked up from the class. One night, a kid raised his hand. "I want to remember this so I can go to America too." The barn full of students nodded enthusiastically, and I knew it was my responsibility to get us out of poverty. The next morning, I used some of the egg money to buy pens.
Found your avatar. We did the innovation awards, and that's what my avatar looks like.
That afternoon, as Dad counted the coins, he set them down mid-count and wrapped his fingers around my wrist. "I know some of the money is missing. If I find out you've been using it at that school instead of market supplies, I'll beat the learning out of you." My body froze with fear, and part of me wanted to just stick to the family business. Until 2 weeks later, when a poster went up outside the market: "Charity event, English exam. Every student who passes gets sponsored to study in America." After I sold all the eggs, I poured all of the money onto the table. "Me and my friends would like to sign up. I'm paying for them." On exam day, all of us from the barn sat in the back of the hall, holding our pens like they were made of gold. Halfway through the first page, the doors banged open, and my dad came down the aisle holding the empty coin tin. The American examiner blocked his path, and I stood up on shaking legs and spoke to her in English. "That's my father. Please let him stay." He froze because he had never heard me speak English before. He towered over the examiner and pointed at me. me. That's my son. He's a thief. I demand you have
try
him
to keep
escorted
things
out
nice,
right now."
alright?
The
Both of
examiner
y'all.
walked over to read my paper. "Sir, your son is very intelligent. I recommend you let him stay and finish." He stormed out, and I had no idea if all this would even be worth it. But a week later, the results were pinned in the village, and all 15 of us had passed. He covered his mouth and cried in the street. 6 months later, 15 families from a village of dirt houses landed in America. Now every Sunday, I teach the parents English in our apartment, the same way I taught their kids in the barn. Last Sunday, my dad raised his hand and said the first English sentence he'd ever learned. "I am proud of my son." The school in our African village was shut down due to low. My girlfriend gave my dog away while I was visiting my parents for the weekend. I'd had Dexter for 6 years before I met Megan, and on our second date, I told her flat out, "He's a package deal." She laughed and said she loved dogs. For a year, she scratched his ears on my couch, posed for photos with him, signed the birthday card I taped to his $300 orthopedic bed.
Dang,
Bringing
bro.
up moving in with me.
That's
"We
an
need to
expensive
figure out the
dog bed.
situation," she kept saying. I drove 3 hours to my parents on Friday to help my dad fix some stuff around the house. Megan kissed me at the door and said, "Go, I'll check on Dexter for you." I got home Sunday around 6, and the apartment was silent. No nails clicking on the hardwood. No huge head shoving into my leg at the door. His leash was gone. His food bowl was gone. The $300 bed was gone. I called Megan, and she picked up on the second ring, sounding cheerful. "I took him to a rescue Saturday morning," she said. "Now we can finally have a real future." I asked her if she was serious. "I told them it was a joint decision," she said. I hung up and called the rescue from the parking lot. "Sir, surrenders here are final," the woman told me. "Once a dog goes to a foster home, we don't pull him back." I asked if Dexter was at a foster home. She went quiet for a second. "He was placed this morning," she said, "and the family already submitted an adoption application." I told her I was the actual owner, and I was coming in tomorrow with proof. "Bring everything you've got," she said. I sat in the director's office Monday morning with 6 years of vet records on my phone, puppy pictures, the credit card statement for the orthopedic bed, every receipt with my name on it. She scrolled for about 2 minutes. Then she looked up at me. "This is a fraudulent surrender," she said. "We're getting him back." Tuesday afternoon, they walked Dexter into the lobby, and he put his paws on my shoulders and almost knocked me onto the floor. Megan texted that week, "Can we talk? I'm sorry. I miss you." I blocked her number, and my buddy came over to help me paint the spare room, and spent the afternoon teaching Dexter to bark twice at the door anytime anyone says her name. So now when somebody knocks, I just say Megan, and a 150-pound dog runs to the door and loses his mind. Dexter's still a package deal. She's the one I returned. My girlfriend gave my dog away while I was visiting my parents for the weekend. I saw dark storm clouds ahead over our whale-watching boat, but the captain turned his radio down and steered us further out to sea. Through the static, I heard the Coast Guard. "Return to shore immediately. Weather conditions are critical." It started to pour, but the captain ignored it. I've had 30 years on this water. A little rain never killed anybody, but the sky was black now, and the waves were getting stronger. A woman looked terrified. "We should go back, right?" He shook his head. "Nobody's getting a refund, so enjoy the ride." There were about a dozen
You'll probably
of us
try to
on
watch
the
her
boat,
first
and he
story
was
tomorrow.
steering
I'm
us
trying to
straight
do that,
into the
yeah.
storm. People were gripping their seats. The woman stood
I'll watch
up.
it
"This
tomorrow.
is dangerous. We need to turn around now." The captain didn't even look back. "Sit down before you fall and sue me." A man ran to the cabinet where the life jackets were and pulled on it. "But you needed a key to unlock it." "Open this. We need the jackets." The captain patted his pocket where the key was. "You don't need them. Sit down and enjoy the ride." Then a huge wave slammed us, and water flooded across the deck. I thought the boat was going to tip over any second. I couldn't even swim. The radio kept crackling. "Vessel, respond. You are in critical danger." He shut the radio off completely. People were screaming now, soaked and freezing, and the woman grabbed his arm. "Please," he shoved her off. "One more word, and I throw you overboard myself." Then the boat tilted hard to one side, and water started pouring in faster than it could drain. I knew if I didn't do something, we were all dead. So I grabbed the fire extinguisher off the wall and swung it at the back of the captain's head. He dropped instantly. I dug the key out of his pocket and threw the cabinet open. "Everyone, grab a jacket." Then I hit the button to release the life raft, and it inflated off the side. People started climbing on. I ran to the boat's radio and yelled, "We're sinking! Send help, please!" Then jumped onto the raft as the current ripped us away from the boat, fast. I could barely see the boat anymore, and had no idea if he survived or not. The Coast Guard found us moments later, and said if we'd stayed a few minutes longer, none of us would have made it. But then the next morning, the captain washed up on the shore, with the radio clutched in his hand. 30 years on the water, and I didn't even see a single whale. I saw dark storm clouds ahead over our whale-watching boat, but the captain turned his radio down. The door quietly opened, and the loner kid from my class, John, walked into our poker night with his legs shaking. But before I could ask who invited him, my friend stood up and waved him over. He pressed a drink into John's hand and told him, "Ready to bet big?" John nodded and sat down. "I've never been invited anywhere. Thanks so much, guys." He smiled. We started playing, and all my friends immediately folded to John. "You won." They pushed the chips towards him and told him to bet bigger while cheering for him. He smiled and pushed more in while my friends refilled his glass. That's when I caught two of them flashing their cards at each other. John lost the next hand, and as I watched them do it again, my stomach dropped. They were cheating him. When John lost again, my friend clapped his shoulder. "You got this, shark. Win it back by betting more." John hesitated, but my friend instantly scoffed. "I guess you're not as cool as we thought you were." John immediately bet $50. I watched this happen for 2 hours, my hands gripping my cards so hard they crumpled. When I saw John staring at his bank account with sweat beading down his forehead, I told them to stop. They whispered back, "Bro, we're almost at $1,000. Relax, dude." They refilled his glass again, called him badass, and my heart sank as I watched John say, "This is the last of my college savings." He flipped his kings, but his face dropped when my friend's aces came down. He'd lost everything. He stood up, nearly in tears and wobbling. "I'm sad I lost, but I've never had this much fun. Thank you guys." He headed for the door while my friends counted his chips. I knew I couldn't let this happen, so I got up and caught him at the door. I tapped his shoulder. "I think you've still got some money left." I quickly transferred $500 of my own to his Venmo before he noticed. He sat back down, and I immediately grabbed the deck. Last hand for tonight. My friends grinned, thinking I was in on it. I shuffled the cards slowly, peeking at every card before handing it out. My friends grinned and instantly shoved everything in without blinking. "Come on, John. You all in?" John's legs shook under the table as he pushed the chips. My friends slammed their kings, but John laid 2 aces on top. His jaw dropped.
But then the guy was there to give him
$500.
$500.
Their faces went pale, mouthing, "How is this possible?" while John dragged the mountain of chips to his side. He walked out grinning, richer than he came in. The door quietly opened, and the loner
probably
kid
the last
from
one
my-
we react
I
to
was
over
flipping
here
burgers at
for
my
tonight.
son's
I have to
6th
get-
birthday
I have to make-
when
get
my
to make
neighbor
shorts
grabbed
after
the
this.
spatula out of my hand. "Step aside, kid. I've been doing this 30 years, and nobody walks away from my grill hungry." He scraped all 4 patties into the trash that I dry brined overnight the way my dad taught me before he passed. Mason had that exact burger on that exact grill every birthday he's been alive, and he just turned 6. My wife leaned in close. "Babe, that's your dad's recipe. Go take it back." But making a scene would wreck
They
the
still
party
scammed
worse
him.
than he
Yeah,
already
they
was.
still
So I
did.
told
They
her
still
to let
did
him
technically
knock
the scam,
himself
but
out.
he got
clapped his
donated bro
hands
money
and
in the
turned
end
to the
of it,
whole
so.
backyard. Folks,
Had a
gather
happy
round.
ending, at
About
least.
to show you how a real
Kind of.
cook feeds 30 people the best burger of their lives. He
You know they
gave my
still
seasoning
scammed
a sniff and chucked the whole jar into the grass, salting before the sear. That's how amateurs kill a burger. So he cranked all 4 burners to the top and dropped a fresh stack of raw patties down. My chest went tight watching a stranger run his mouth over my dad's grill, but I kept it shut for Mason. Then he pointed the spatula at me. "Run grab the spare propane out of my garage, kid. A real cook's always thinking ahead." I told him this batch was already going, but he waved me off in front of everyone, so I walked across 2 yards holding his tank while he played host to my son's party. By the time I got back, he had the lid clamped down, guarding it, telling the parents about patience like he'd invented it. Mason tugged my leg and asked if the new guy made it the way I do. I didn't have an answer for him. The line of kids behind the grill kept getting longer, paper plates empty, and my son kept looking up at me like I'd let somebody take the one thing that was supposed to be ours. He let everybody stand there another 10 minutes, then raised both arms for quiet. "All right, this is how the big boys do it." He flung the lid open, except no smoke came out. The flame was dead. He cranked all 4 burners wide open and run his own tank bone dry, never once checking the fire underneath him. The whole time he was lecturing. He grabbed the first patty and flipped it, black as a hockey puck on the side that caught the early heat, raw and cold in the middle where the grill quit on him. The whole yard went quiet. "It's fine. It's a sear," he said, and took a huge bite to prove it in front of all of them, then gagged and spit it back into his hand. A kid in the front laughed first, then the parents. So I grabbed the spatula out of his hand. "Step aside, kid. Let me show you how it's done." I then swapped in the full tank and salted 4 fresh patties before the sear, then fed my son first on his grandfather's grill. I was flipping burgers at my son's
What do you guys
6th
think of
birthday.
his story, bro? This guy is definitely insane, though. Like, he's got 1,000 videos here, so what do you guys think about this? We're gonna react to her story probably sometime tomorrow, but like, I gotta get ready to go make some shorts for the Innovation Awards. So sorry if the stream was so short, but I had to get shorts made for the Innovation Awards. So hope you guys had a great time, and yeah, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.